How's it going today? Today we're going to talk about look out for the week. We got some all companies reporting earnings. Make sure you like and subscribe. I do some stock picking and some news and try to give you guys some information, make the best investor that you possibly can. So anyway, we're going to kick it off. Monday, I believe it might be a down day. I think there's still some of this coronavirus going around. Well, I know there is. Actually, it's quite a bit. I believe they're always going to give us some numbers on it every day. It's going to be every day. If it's going to be up or increasing, the stock's going to sell off. Until we get that big break where it's not affecting. I believe that could honestly, I believe these diseases, historically, they last up to about almost maybe six months. So it could be almost June, July before this thing get resolved. I guess the only thing is hopefully we're bringing into the spring and in May and March. Usually these diseases and the warmer weather and stuff like that make it harder for these diseases to transmit because people are not as close. But anyway, that I think that's just gonna keep dragging down the market a little bit. Hopefully not too much, but I'm gonna focus on the earnings. That's the only thing you can do. You can't really, kind of predict where this thing is going or whatever. Nobody knows. They're just speculating on it, and nobody really knows. Historically, it doesn't really affect the market a whole lot. Short term a little bit, but then but the thing to look at, the Fed is on our side right now. They're not aggressively doing anything. They're watching it. They're doing smart. They're showing some a little bit of outlooking and stuff like that. But anyway, let's get into the companies that are reporting. On Monday, we have Google, and Google is testing that $1 trillion market cap. It's sitting at the $1 trillion level. I believe. Can it hold that? That's the question. Can it hold? It reports after. We saw with Facebook some raising price raising and some expense, more like it. Will we see it with same with Google? Maybe not. Facebook is it's trying to fight with the regulations and all that, and they're trying to do this, which I think is a smart thing to do for Facebook. But, will it affect Google? Maybe not, maybe so. And the next one is Match Group. It reports Tuesday. This stock it's ran up a little bit, but it's been doing selling off. They're doing some switch up with CEOs, which is always kind of weird. I don't know why. I don't know why that happened. The CEO, I guess, stepped down. And I don't really understand why, because the stock was doing well. The company was doing well, but then she just stepped down. So we're going to look at some numbers with that. I think Match could have a pretty good number. We'll see about the outlook. But anyway, the next one is on Wednesday is Twilio. Twilio's cloud stock and actually one of my larger holdings. Twilio, it had lower guidance. The trend with Twilio is the revenue is slowing down. Now, until that bottoms and the revenue can kind of stay more stable, I believe that's what you kind of look at with the outlook. The outlook was kind of weak, but I believe it's Twilio. If it beats expectations, it's not as bad as everybody thinks. I believe that stock's going to go a lot higher than what it is now. It's kind of pricing that in. It doesn't really know. It had some accounting things and kind of scared people off. It messed up some numbers, and they came out and said we messed up and all this, and which I think was the smart thing to do. You have to tell people. You can't give them a surprise next quarter. They came out as soon as they did, and they changed it. And it was weird. It was weird because it was actually accounting error. It would be more profitable than less profitable, but it still was an error, and people get scared. Oh, they don't know their books and their numbers, so they must not know anything, and they sold it. I know. So the next one is Paycom. Paycom is another computer company and a software company, and basically the company actually just got in the S&P 500. So essentially, and it's kind of weird. You think about it. Tesla's not in the S&P, but the Paycom is at 18 billion, but it's in the S&P 500. It's profitability. It has to be profitable for a year, so Tesla will get in the S&P eventually. But anyway, back to Paycom. It's kind of been at an all-time high. Can it hold up to there? I believe it can, but you never know with that. When it runs up a lot, it kind of always scares me. Can I sit back and go, you know what? We're going to wait for the numbers to come out to make my final decision. Maybe if it gets hit a little bit and the numbers is so good but didn't beat expectations or crush them like it was priced in at, then you buy. But anyway, next day is Thursday. After hours, Zendex reports, and Zendex is another cloud computing stock type thing. And I believe I have a lot of I think this stock got hit pretty hard. It was up at the 90s, then it went all the way down to like the 60s. So not a 30% drop really there for, and it was down a while. It was sold off in August of last year, and it's slowly recovering. But I believe it can go a lot higher over the long term. But we're going to see. I think it was some, if I remember right, I think it was some, it is profitable. They're spending, which I think is good. You as a business, you kind of want to spend money to, especially if you're a smaller company, you don't really want to cut. You want to cut costs, but you want to spend. You want to innovate. You want to grow the business as fast as you can. Like Jeff Bezos once said with Amazon, the goal was to get big fast and dominate retail, and that's what he did. A lot of these companies, they focused on earnings and this, but he just kind of focused on the customer. That's why Amazon, did that with the one-day shipping. Everybody was bashing it, but then the quarter, it paid off and it blew it away. So I think Zendesk, a lot of these smaller companies think that way, which I think is smart. Same, and the next company is Uber. Uber has been a company that I watch. A lot of people are saying, is it going to be profitable? I believe it will be eventually one of these days. And I believe usually the market's kind of forward thinking. So if Uber can say, hey, we're going to be profitable, I think it was 2021 on some accounting basis. So I believe, this stock, if they still say that and they go, our outlook looks a little bit better, I believe this stock can see a big upside surprise to the upside, because stock got hit, and I've seen this a lot of times. Usually a lot of these IPOs that bust, they come out and be great companies. You know what I mean? I remember when Facebook came out, it was down over 30-40%, and that stock went up over 10 times from that position. I think it IPO'd in the 30s, and then, it wasn't profitable, it was wasting money, it wasn't this, it wasn't that. Now Facebook's one of the most profitable companies. I don't know if Uber's get there. I think there's some a little more pricing competition with Lyft and Uber and all them, but I believe they go figure it out. I mean, it has the biggest network. I mean, it has revenue growth up in the 30%. I mean, if it keeps that up, it's going to be a massive company one of these days. I believe it could easily be $100-200 billion company, and that's almost double, or almost triple where it's at. So that's a big upside for them. I believe they could get there as soon as they show some clarity on their reports, but they're going to be reporting, watching out for that. And the last one is Activision Blizzard. We saw some numbers from EA. They weren't too spectacular, but Activision's a little bit different. I believe it's going to be a good quarter for them. They were guiding low, and that's why the stock got hit a little bit. They were saying, well, the holiday quarter won't be that good, which I don't know. I don't see why it wouldn't be very good for them. I think that with the Call of Duty sales, I think a lot of people, it was the best-selling Call of Duty of all time for them. And I think that's just going to be big. I think it be bigger than what they're thinking. The numbers are going to come out, and I think, I believe Activision is poised for the upside. I don't really see Activision getting hit a little bit. It's ran up a little bit, but not too much. But if we get in the first part of the week on Monday and Tuesday, get a sell-off, maybe 5, maybe 1 or 2% on some of that coronavirus, I believe these are the companies, especially if I was a buyer of stocks on them slower days, on them downer days, the companies I would be definitely buying is probably the Twilios, the Zendesk, the Activision Blizzards. Well, maybe not Activision Blizzard, it has a little bit of China exposure, but especially Twilio and Paycom. There's no reason for them companies to really sell off because of that coronavirus. There's no reason. I mean, business, it's not even really affected in China. Unless this coronavirus just explodes and there's like millions of people that get it in the United States, which, I mean, as right now, I believe if Twilio gets hit and it's because of the coronavirus, and a lot of these times if they miss it a little bit, they will get hammered if the market sells off anyway. If it goes down 5, 6, 7%, 10%, if we get a big sell-off, because God only knows we might, because the coronavirus, it's on everybody's mind. There's a lot of fear and it's running up and everybody's thinking, well, this could drag the market down. Everybody knows that. So everybody's like, you know what? I'm going to take profits. I've been up since 3 months. It's been going up. I'm going to just sell it. Why not? Nobody got hurt taking a profit. But then they go sell these companies that really have no exposure, no thing. But that's where their biggest profits are, these companies that run up, and that's why they sell off so violently. But you have to be right there to be buying them, because especially if the quarter does good. So basically buy these companies if they take a dip and they have great numbers. So buy them on that. Anyway, that's all I got to say for the next week, and that's what I'm going to be looking at. So make sure you leave a comment of what you're looking at. I love to hear from you guys always. And Remember to like and subscribe so you get some more daily update, weekly updates. Do anything that you guys want me to do. And thank you for watching. Thank you.